These markers are so freaking cool. I think this is literally like the first time I've drawn in like a week.
Hey, it's Hersh, and today I'm going to be trying out new art supplies that were kindly sent to me by upcrate. Starting off, here's a closer look at the box, and I also do want to mention that you can use the code hershey30 for 30% off on your first subscription box that you buy from upcrate. Also, a huge thank you to the people over at upcrate for providing me with this opportunity to try out these art supplies, and yeah. So this is box number 48, but you can order whichever number that you want based on the art supplies that you want to try out, or you can just order a random one as well. The first thing that is in this box that is wrapped in this tissue paper are the watercolor brush pens, which are the main medium of this box. I noticed like right off the bat that there's a super nice color range, and I also really like the design of the pen themselves. It is one-sided with a brush nib, which means that blending should be really easy, and it kind of reminds me of calligraphy pens. And they also have the names listed on the markers themselves. Next we have these Koh-i-Noor colored pencils. They come in 3 colors, which are orange, green, and yellow, which I'm very excited to use to sketch and outline, and also this bigger black pencil, which it has like a thicker lead in it. upcrate also provided us with this QR code, which lists the items in the box and a little bit about them, as well as the featured artist and her drawings. Obviously, this is all very interesting to read about. I really like this artist's style, especially how she draws her landscapes. And they also have a little tutorial on how you can use the watercolor brush pens, or how the artist uses it. Following that, there's also a 300 GSM watercolor paper with 8 sheets, meaning that it is very good quality. 300 GSM means that it can like really hold the weight of the water well and doesn't bend or buckle easily. It's also 100% cotton, and I really like the texture of it because it's not like overly textured, but it's also not completely smooth, so that means that the watercolor will be able to stay on the page more. You also have this print from the artist, and on the back it includes info on her and a QR code to where you can watch her interview with upcrate, which I definitely recommend. And finally, some stickers that are inspired by her art, which I thought were so cute. I'm definitely going to be putting them on my sketchbook. So before we get on to the actual drawing process, I wanted to swatch them quickly in my sketchbook. I know I could have used like the watercolor paper pad to swatch them as well, but I figured I would save those for like my actual finished illustrations that I want to do with these markers, and swatching them in my sketchbook should be fine just to see the colors. They came with a lot of vibrant colors, but also some pastels like the blue and the mint green. The brush tips also work really well. It's like calligraphy pens like I mentioned earlier, because you can go from thick to thin, and I also swatched the colored pencils. The black ones that seemed a lot softer than the others, so I'm very excited to use those to like outline my drawing at the end. And I also added in like the color names just so I would know which color is which. I also wanted to do a little bit of a blending test with these markers before I got onto the actual drawing, so I decided to draw this apple. At one point it became like a peach and then an orange because I just kept on adding random colors in, but these markers are actually so much fun to use, guys. They work really well when you're blending them, and even when you're layering, they like layer on pretty nicely. It's basically like watercolors in a pen form. I'll like talk about them a lot later, but yeah, as you can see, I was just going in with a bunch of random colors, mainly orange because they didn't come with red, so I decided to make it an orange. But I also added in some blue like accents just to like add some contrast to the drawing, and at the very end I also added like a little shadow at the bottom. But yeah.
Hi. Hold on, let me turn off my fan. It's been quite a bit since I've done a video where I like talk while I'm drawing, so this is gonna be really fun to edit. Future Hershey, good luck with that. Anyways, for this painting drawing, I don't even know what to call it. These markers are so freaking cool, bro. I'll probably like yap about them a lot. I'm sketching this drawing. I already did one like a digital version of this like earlier today. Ignore the fact that I might like go mute every 2 seconds because I can't talk while I'm sketching properly. I feel like if I was coloring, that would be easier. Unfortunately, we're not doing that right now. Oh my god, okay, let's talk about school, because that's like the topic that everyone's dreading right now. It's August, back to school season. Honestly, I think I'm like done being tired and like scared to go back. I'm going into a difficult year this year. It's probably like one of my hardest years of schooling, so that's gonna be really fun, especially with like the classes that I'm taking, bro. My upload schedule might just drop insanely. Okay, I think the main reason why my upload schedule was like really bad last year is because I didn't have any ideas, but I made like a note on my notes app on my phone that includes like a bunch of video ideas, like either random recommendations that I get from comments, which yes, I am actually keeping track of them. I like sometimes do reply to them, sometimes I don't. I'll be like, oh my god, yeah, like that's a good idea. It means that I've written it down in my little notes app, and I have like a bunch that I've been trying to go through bit by bit. These markers are literally so, when I first ordered the box, I was like high-key expecting them to be like acrylic markers, and I already have a lot of those, so I was like really used to using them, right? And I was like, oh yeah, like okay, this will be fun. And then I like got the box itself and I was like, wait, these are like watercolor markers or something. Okay, even at that point I thought that they'd be like really similar to acrylic markers. And then I like actually did the swatch test, and bro, I was shooketh. I didn't expect them to literally be like watercolor pens. Like I thought maybe they'd be like the water-based fine liners that I got like from Ohu in 2020. Like that was the only comparison point that I had. They're like actually watercolors, but they like dry really fast. I do have like multiple alcohol marker sketchbooks, and I'm like debating whether I should just make them into my main sketchbook or not, because I feel like I've already gotten so much progress, and one of the biggest things that motivates me to like finish my sketchbook is if I already really like how it's going. Damn, this is looking good. For not doing like any warm-up sketches or anything, this is literally like the first time I've drawn in like a week. It's actually like quite nice. I hate drawing noses. I'm like, every time I draw noses, I go through a crisis. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh my god, school. I completely derailed off of that. My school starts in like, oh god, I don't even want to name the days. That's terrifying. It starts in a couple of weeks. Let's just be vague for the sake of my sanity. It's gonna be an absolute pain for me to edit. Pro tip, guys, if you're doing traditional art, if you're a traditional artist, then you should, instead of flipping the canvas, I literally have a mirror like right up there on the ledge of my desk. I just look at it every 2 seconds. I think the mouth is like too far tilted that way. Let's reposition this. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, I have a lot of video ideas that I think if I know what to do, then I'll have the motivation to pump them out. Also, I have like a really fun school related video coming out soon actually for back to school season. It's very silly. I hope you guys enjoy. It's like different than what I usually do, but stay tuned for that. Oh, my iPad shut down. That's lovely. It's looking alright. I don't really know. Chat, is this Riz? Bye. My friend my friend just texted me. I was reading that out loud. Okay, I think I'm gonna speed run the rest of the sketch and then come back for coloring.
So my first attempt at drawing was sort of a flop because I went into it without really thinking about the colors or anything or how I do my line art. So I actually went back, resketched the whole thing onto the back side of it, and I went ahead and I like redid the drawing. And obviously I'm much more happy with this attempt because I was like kind of thinking about the colors that I wanted to use, and I don't know, I just put more thought into this drawing than the other one. The other one was definitely like, I feel like I should have prepared better, but this was actually really fun. I do recommend if you want to get like lighter colors like for skin tones and stuff, I did water it down using, well, water, and that kind of helped create this more pastel effect, and you could like layer with it a lot better, which is what I did for the skin and also a bit of the hair, I think. By the way, I am using like a reference from Pinterest that I showed earlier when I was sketching. I didn't follow it like to the T exactly because I wanted to stylize it a little bit. I was considering drawing one of my original characters, but I was like, I just like the colors in the original reference actually. Honestly, I probably could have drawn Maya like as this character like pretty easily. I just had to give her like back hair like a bleached look. But yeah, I really actually quite like this drawing. I love how the colors appeared next to each other. And I feel like using these markers that are super vibrant and saturated also sort of like give you a lot of information on color theory, and you can use it to like expand your knowledge on that, because when I was drawing like the peach, orange, whatever that fruit was, you notice that I like used blue as like an accent color, and I think that adds like a really nice touch to your drawings when you just add in random colors from the environments. For example, in this drawing, actually like the entire background was like a blue color because it's like out in nature, and there's also some green in the background as well. So I kind of tried using those two colors as accents, and I like tried blending them into like the white on her shirt, because white is like a very reflective color of its surroundings, and it actually came out pretty well, but you'll see me do that later. Watercolors used to be like one of my favorite mediums. Like I used to use them so much in my sketchbooks, those and colored pencils like together actually. I used to use watercolors just as like the base, then colored pencils to like outline my characters or like give them more details like blush and like drawing the eyes and like facial features, stuff like that. It was like very nice actually, and these markers reminded me a lot of the very first Ohu markers that I got. They weren't Ohu like alcohol based markers, which are the ones that I use now mainly, but they were like the Ohu water based markers, and you could actually water them down and use them to like color people. If you go back to my first videos, you'll probably see me using them a lot. But yeah, I felt very nostalgic while I was drawing this, and I don't know, it was like a very nice feeling as well. For the skin, I felt like it was looking a little bit too pink in compared to like its surroundings, so I decided to go in with some of like this orange color and really emphasize the shadows a bit more. It was kind of nice though, because usually for the shadows I use like blue tones, and I think I did go in with the blue later on, but this is like very interesting drawing. I actually had so much fun using these markers because it was a medium that I wasn't exactly used to using, but also it was like it reminded me a lot of watercolors, but like in a more controlled way. And I feel like one of the reasons why I kind of stopped using watercolors after I got into markers is because I wasn't like sure how to control them anymore, especially when I'm drawing like characters and I have to make a lot of like really tiny details and stuff. But these markers definitely help with that. I really want to try using like watercolors and then using these markers on top of those for like more detail work and stuff, because that was actually really like, I don't know, I feel like that'd be a really fun experience. Also, I do have some notes about these markers, like in terms of blending and layering. I think they are actually like super easy to blend like while they're still wet on the page. So what I recommend is working with the markers from like area to area. Like, I'm not sure if you guys noticed earlier, but I was like working on the flowers on the left side of the page, and then I transitioned to the right side of the page so that the markers were like still wet when I was going in to blend them with the lighter green color. And then after that, I also ended up adding some blue to the sky and used like this like lighter like grayish color and layered it with the blue to add some like clouds in the background. I don't usually add backgrounds to my artwork just because it's like so much work, but I think with these pens it was actually like really easy because I wasn't focused too much on like the details in the background. I was just more focused on getting the colors right and like adding in some like vague blobs in the background, so you could get the idea that there was like flowers and like clouds and it was like in nature, but like you didn't need to see all the details because the main focus of this page was the character itself. And oh, here I am going in with the blue for the shadows again. I really like adding in some random colors from the environment, and I definitely recommend it if you're struggling with like art color theory and stuff, because it's really not that hard. It's just like adding in a bunch of random colors until it looks fine. But for the very end, I just went ahead using the black colored pencil to outline some parts of the drawing, and I think I also went in with like the peach or orange colored marker to outline like the skin areas, like in the mouth, the nose, and then I used the green one for like the shirt and the areas that were surrounding the plants. This is actually really fun drawing to do. I really enjoy using these mediums like I mentioned earlier, and I definitely recommend getting them. So I will be linking upcrate's website in the description, and like I mentioned earlier, you can use the code hershey30 to get 30% off your first subscription box. As always, thank you guys so much for watching until the end. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!